Surely you're not suggesting St. Teresa Camp Carter wielded the knife?
I'm suggesting she had as much reason as anyone.
Well, I have to say I didn't think this inset day could get any more interesting. Could we do this every term?
Oh, sure. Just let management know well in advance which member of the proletariat you need siding down next.
I wasn't suggesting, well, you know.
But you surely can't believe that I had any reason to be involved in all this.
She didn't have her claws into your boyfriend as well, did she?
I can assure you I have no boyfriend.
Are you telling us you're batting from the Paddington end, Miss Camp?
No boyfriend, partner, significant other, or any euphemism you choose to use. When you love Jesus as much as I do, there is no room in your life for anyone less perfect.
No boyfriend, just a twin brother. A surprisingly dissolute twin brother who found himself in more than a spot of bother with the Turkish mafia out Waterfoot Way.
It's true. He fell in with bad company and turned from the one true way to a life of drink and gambling. Satan came calling, and poor Jimmy opened the door. He was... The Killicks said if he didn't pay them what he owed them, they were going to put him on a kebab spit and roast him in the shop window.
And when poor Jimmy couldn't come up with the money, he turned to St. Teresa.
And when Teresa couldn't come up with the money, she turned to the school trip money.
St. Teresa!
I was going to pay it back. It was only £500 and I just needed a month. Just a month. The Killicks wouldn't, I'd raised the rest, but the Killicks wouldn't wait. I couldn't let them kidnap poor Jimmy.
You were in need of a donor rather than a donor.
But how did Mamselle Reynard find out?
You can see in the English classroom the languages block. She watched Teresa count money into a bag and then followed her to Waterfoot.
She confronted me as I came out of the kebab shop. It was only £500 for just 1 month.
A little bit of thieving then.
Hardly a blemish at all, really.
She said the papers would love it. English teacher and lay preacher, stealing from disadvantaged children.
Where did you get the knife from?
I didn't kill her. I have sinned and the Lord will be my judge. But I would never hurt anyone.
Of course not. Barely half an hour ago you were claiming to be of unblemished character. So, sure we believe you when you say you didn't kill her.
I was in my classroom when she was killed.
Which was when?
What?
How do you know what time she was killed? Could have been any time before her body was found.
I came in and went straight to my room. You can probably follow me on the CCTV tapes.
Actually, the cameras at that end of the school have been out of order all week.
How very convenient. So the cameras that you look after, allowing you to snoop on the members of staff, were suddenly out of action. Nice.
Someone has painted over the lenses. Anything you'd like to tell us, Ted?
Me?
Perhaps taking the opportunity to stop capital from spying on Labour?
I wouldn't do anything so petty. When the oppressed masses rise up and cast off their shackles, it won't be to paint lenses, but to crush the privileged beneath the grindstone of strike and demonstration.
Well, the way our lot go about things, they'll be rising up, throwing off their duvets and going down the post office to cash their gyros.
Well, as I said, I was in my room.
Not when I came to speak to you about the trip.
Oh, I did pop into the English room to make some coffee, but that was only 2 or 3 minutes.
No, not in there either.
Then I was probably collecting a textbook from H9.
Huh.
So neither of you have an alibi then?
then do you do?
I was finishing a batch of mock exam papers.
What, marking them? Do you know enough chemistry to mark an exam paper?
Does he know enough Hindi?
He uses the stair technique. For what? Stair technique. He throws the exam papers down the stairs, and those that land face up pass. The rest fail.
You're joking.
Don't mock the stair technique. How do you think Charlie got his MVQ?
I think we could do with introducing the stair technique in PE.
They don't have exams in PE, they'd have to learn to read and write.
Perhaps we could lob the kids down the stairs instead.
And any Year 12 girl who finishes face up gets to spend break time in your PE cupboard.
So, if you were rattling around the English department looking for me, there would be no one outside the headmistress's study. So Miss Arnold could have popped up to languages with the dagger.
Except out on the phone to the minister. The inspector could check with Orange if he really suspects me.
On your mobile phone,
Yes,
which will be mobile,
that is generally the point of a mobile phone.
allowing you to wander over to languages whilst talking to the minister. And then you say something like, hang on a minute, minister, finger over the mic, wham bam, thank you ma'am, and a little bit of downsizing in the French department.
That's a bit far-fetched, don't you think?
What I'd like to know is what Mr. Stride was doing in school an hour early. I mean, it's not as if he has to prepare any lessons, or he has to mark any exam papers, or anything that proper teachers do.
Like fiddling coarsely, or fornicating with French asses taunts.
There's no mystery. I cycled in and needed a shower before listening to Miss Tedious for a few hours.
So if the inspector were to check the changing rooms, he'd find water all over the floor in your wet towel.
Unfortunately, I didn't have time for a shower before it all kicked off in languages.
You could hear that in PE.
What about Ted? How's his alibi looking?
Well, not great really, because I found the body, it's a bit shaky.
Still warm?
Yes, thank you.
The body, you plum.
God, I didn't touch her. Christ! Oh, the thought of it. I'm so sorry, Teresa.
And yet you clearly knelt in her blood.
Feeling for a pulse, making sure you'd finished her off.
No, I was checking her pockets and checking her handbag. I thought, if she'd got the evidence with her, I could have destroyed it.
Instead of doing something helpful like CPR.
She was lying in a pool the size of the North Sea. She'd not enough blood in her veins to call them red.
So, 6 motives, no alibis. What do we do now?
Well, with Year 7, I always find it best to make them all stay behind until one of them owns up.
You're lost on teaching, Teresa. You should have been in special branch. If the police had used those methods with the mafia, there'd be no crime in Lancashire.